How is a tzadik like Yitzchak able to be tricked by Eisav?
We all understand two things. The first is that the story in the Chumash is actual and literal. The story happened. Yitzchak was a man, and of all the three of us, he was a parush, he was a Eila Tmima, totally removed from the world. He had a son who was a big Rasha, an evil man, who deceived him, fooled him for years. And he deceived him by coming to him with all of these ridiculously religious, pious questions, as Rashi says, Ketzad Ma'aser Zamelach Masateven, to give Yitzchak the sense that he's very, very righteous. It's also true that you're talking about Yitzchak Avinu, which means you're talking about the holiest of Jews, that although they played out, they lived a life like you and I, but you're talking about the biggest tzaddikim ever. Merkavah the Eibishter, Eisonim, Mitzukei Eretz, Amudei Ha'olam, and so on. And clearly, when you're talking about such people, the motivations and the issues that they lived with are altogether different than ours. Eisav fooled Yitzchak, it says in Chumash. But when Eisav fooled Yitzchak, it was the being fooled of a big tzaddik was being fooled because of the incredibly powerful deceptive powers of Eisav Arash. It wasn't a simple deception. Now, this is the only case where Chassidus says about any of the three of us the word ta'os, that he made a mistake. Ta'a Yitzchak. The lives of the others are complicated. There are many stories, and many things that they did, you can argue, could be questioned if it was correct or not. The only time when Chassidus say he made a mistake is with Yitzchak. But when the Mamorei Chassidus tell you that Yitzchak made a mistake, they also explain why. And what they explain is that Yitzchak favored Eisav and loved Eisav because Yitzchak and Eisav had the same midah. It was both midas hagvura. And Yitzchak felt that the gvura of Eisav can be corrected by the gvura of Yitzchak directly. And the Mamorim say it was a mistake. Ta'ah. Why? Because the correction of Eisav has to be through Teferes, has to be through Yankov Avinu. Now what's the issue? Why does gvura, which is the severe evil of Eisav Arasha, have to be corrected by Teferes and can't be corrected by gvura alone? And if you learn the Mamorei Chassidus, you find out the word. Yeah? I'm going to give you an illustration. We paskin today like Hillel, Beis Hillel, not like Beis Shammai. And we all know that Beis Hillel is a mekel and Beis Shammai is a machmer. Beis Hillel is lenient, Beis Shammai is severe. We also know that everybody knew, Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai both knew that Beis Shammai was smarter than Beis Hillel. To enter into the yeshiva Beis Shammai was more difficult. There was a higher entry exam, which is why there was a smaller student body, which is why they lose all the machlekes, and they push it less of them. Yeah? So if Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai both agree that Beis Hillel is less scholarly and Beis Shammai is more scholarly, nevertheless, you go acharei rabbim lahatais, you follow the majority and go like Beis Hillel. So it says when Mashiach is going to come, the majority is going to be in Beis Shammai, we're going to follow Beis Shammai, which means more strict. We know this from Kisvei Harizal, yeah? So how does Chassidus explain it? Chassidus says that, you want to correct the world, yeah? You want to fix the world. Fixing the world is gvura, that's what it is. Right? You're determining a right and a wrong. But you want to fix the world without destroying it. And to fix the world without destroying it, you have to have chesed. Chesed means you overlook certain things. You're mavater, pshara, right? If the mashal for chesed is water dissolves in it all kinds of undesirable things. Now when water dissolves something that's undesirable, it doesn't disappear, it's just broken down, but it's there. If you would boil out the water, that schmutz would be left over, right? Nevertheless, in Elam Hazeh, you have to follow Beis Hillel. Because if you're going to follow a regimen of Beis Shammai in this world, you'll destroy it. Too judgmental, too critical, too severe. But when Mashiach comes, because first there was the tolerance and the forgiveness, the overlooking certain aspects of Beis Hillel, nowadays, La'asad Lovei, there could be a higher measure of exactitude, of preciseness. And this is the thought process of Yitzchak. We know that Eina Gevuras Nimtaket Ela B'Shashim. You want to defeat Gevura that's evil, you defeat it with Gevura Ha'atzmi. Yitzchak knew that, and Yitzchak was right. Ultimately, it's going to take Gvura to turn around the Gvura of Eisav. But turning down the Gvura of Eisav has a lot of levels. And not all the levels of turning down the Gvura of Eisav are the severe evil. There's lesser evils. And the lesser evils of the Gvura of Eisav are turned around through Chsadim, through Rachmim, through Teferes. So Yitzchak's thought process is that the end is going to be that the only way to correct Gvura is with Gvura. What his mistake is that before the end, there's a lot of steps in between, and the steps in between require Rachmim. And that's why the Bidud of Eisav happens through Yaakov, and only Liyasad Lavei are you mamtik the Gvuras b'shoshan. You have the sweetening of Eisav and Yitzchak himself. So Chassidus explains the mistake. Eisav fooled him, but it wasn't that he fooled him that he thought he was a tzadik. He fooled him that he thought that he could be mavada to him directly. And Teira says that's impossible. Because if you want to correct a wrong in this world without destroying the world, you have to do it against the background of the world. If you want to do it against the background of the world, not about to stay in the world. If the world cannot handle that much gevura, you have to have rachmim, you have to have chsadim, you have to have beis hillel. And while I'm on the subject, I'll give you another case that's the same. Kairach wanted to be a kohen, and he made a revolution. Kairach is gevura, Kairach is Levi. And Kairach was wrong. Aaron HaKohen, who's Isha Chesed, has to be a kohen. But it says that when Mashiach comes, the Leviim are going to be kohenim. It's the same issue. Because Leviim are gvura. And ultimately, the complete eradication of what's not good has to come from Midas HaGvura. But in this world, it can't come from gvura because it's going to destroy the world. It has to come with softness. It has to come with Midas HaArim, which is Midas HaChesed. And that's the nature of the deception that Eisav played on Yitzchak. Not that he fooled Yitzchak into thinking that he was a tzadik, but he fooled Yitzchak into thinking that Yitzchak can correct him without going through a stage which is compromised. You're not fixing him completely, you're fixing him a little bit, but you're fixing him in the world without destroying him.